Everyone, so today's video is going to be a woman to woman video because I haven't done one of these in a while and I just felt like doing it. And I've kind of touched on the topic in different videos before, but I basically wanted to talk to you about jealousy or being jealous of other women, because it's something that every single one of us has struggled with at some point or another, and I just think it's a kind of interesting topic. So I'm going to kind of start with my own sort of jealousy story, the first one that I kind of want to talk about. And when I was at school, I had a really close friend who we were really good friends, and she was absolutely beautiful. I mean, like, I can talk about this because she knows and we've talked about this before, but she was absolutely beautiful. She was really tall and really skinny, but with really big boobs, blonde, blue eyes, basically the complete opposite of what I was, whatever, and especially kind of growing up in Israel, where it's a country where, you know, people are predominantly dark haired, being blonde was such a big deal because people weren't blonde. So she kind of just had everything, you know. She had like Baywatch body and she was blonde and just she was beautiful. She still is beautiful, and I had really low self-esteem back then. I kind of had I struggled with sort of little episodes of kind of having erratic eating and just being really insecure, and it kind of ruled my life. I can remember thinking that, you know, like that I was so flat-chested that I was never going to get boobs and I was never going to have a boyfriend because who'd want to go out with me, kind of thing. Like my mind was really not, you know, with it, and I can just remember that like horrible deep jealousy feeling where it was my friend and someone who I loved, but she made me feel so bad about myself. And when I say she made me, she didn't do anything. I let myself feel like that was basically what happened. And every time I looked at her, all I could think about was everything that was wrong with me. And it did kind of affect our friendship in lots of ways because I couldn't kind of get past it. It just really bothered me. And it's something that's interesting to me that I kind of don't struggle with in that area now. Like, I can't even remember the last time I can say, oh, I'm really jealous of somebody because of how they look. I get jealous of other things now, but it's more kind of in a more normal, balanced place rather than a like all-consuming, you know. I didn't ever like wish her any harm or anything like that, but she just made me feel like I was short and fat and flat-chested and ugly, and she had everything and I didn't. Men went crazy for her, still do. Like, you know, walking down the street with her knocks your confidence a little bit because men are just like. And I was never particularly popular with like boys at school, and like with men in general, you know, I'm not everybody's taste, and she was everybody's taste. And you know, when you're like 15, 16 or whatever, that really does matter. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I've experienced that and I know what it feels like. But I was 15 and I really did try and not let it affect anything, and we were still friends. And then I've kind of encountered other times where, I mean, you can kind of tell if you think someone's jealous of you sometimes, but I had an experience a little while ago where, I mean, it was very complicated and I won't go into all of it, but basically I was like 19 at the time, and this was a woman who was quite a bit older than me. She was probably like nearing her 40s, and she just really didn't like me and wasn't very nice to me because it made her feel bad. And then later on, when I kind of not confronted her about it, but when I kind of just mentioned that I thought she was always really not very nice to me, and it, like, I won't go into it because it was a complicated situation and it's kind of not really my place to talk about, she basically sort of said that, you know, I made her feel bad about herself, and I made her feel bad about not making an effort with like makeup and clothes and all of that kind of thing, and I made her feel old. And that kind of struck a chord with me, because like it was at that moment where I kind of thought, wow, it's really difficult, because no one ever does anything with the intent of making someone else feel bad. Like in this situation, you choosing to feel jealous is all to do with you and not to do with the other person. And I did remember at the time kind of feeling like, I'm sorry that you feel like that, that's really crap, but what is it you want me to do about that? I can't grow up and be older. I can't, you know, I'm not going to not wear makeup just for you. Like, it was really, really just kind of complicated and weird. And I'm very much somebody now, I think the only person that I ever felt that jealous of in like the looks department was that particular friend. And then after I kind of grew out of that and I became a little bit more confident, I don't ever look at somebody now who is way more attractive than me, and there are billions of girls who are, and think, oh, I wish I was as beautiful as her. I'll look at somebody and, you know, and like on a daily basis this happens, and I'll think, wow, that girl is gorgeous. But that's it. It's not like a, oh, I wish I was as gorgeous as her, or oh, I'm not as gorgeous as her. That never ever comes into it for me. I don't ever kind of think like that anymore. And I had another experience recently. I don't want this to kind of sound like it's me saying I'm so beautiful and everyone's jealous of me, because like obviously that's not the case at all. But I had another experience recently of someone, a friend who then it turned out that her boyfriend liked me or thought I was attractive or whatever, and so she kind of just shut me off and shut me out completely and didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore. And I can understand that, because like I wouldn't like it if I thought my boyfriend liked somebody else, like thought they were attractive or whatever either. But it was another one of those types of situations where I was left feeling like, but that wasn't my fault. What do you want me to do about it? Like, I didn't encourage it, I didn't do anything. Why am I being punished for that? And I don't want it to kind of sound like, you know, oh, all women are jealous of other women, because that's not the case. And I think I'm kind of in that middle age range now as well, where, you know, I hang out and like work with a lot of girls who are much younger than I am, and like, you know, well, I've got sisters who are like, you know, 16, 17 or whatever, and a lot of girls like that, and I still kind of have the mentality of a 16, 17-year-old where, you know, we have in-depth discussions about lipstick and Kylie Jenner, and they're all so beautiful, but it's like, you know, they're 16, they're beautiful in like a 16-year-old way. I don't compare myself now when I'm in my 20s and be like, you know, oh, I wish I looked like that, because it's not the same. But I don't know if, like, you know, when I'm like 35 or whatever, if I will look at people like that and think, this is making me feel bad. I can't see myself being like that, because that's just not really my mindset anymore. And I love it when I see somebody who I think is really pretty. Like, it makes me happy. And so many times I want to go up to like strangers in the street and be like, just so you know, you look gorgeous. You're really pretty. I never do, because I think they'll be like, oh my god, you are mental. And I think it's a funny thing, like that's a really kind of British thing, in that like when I lived in Israel, obviously it's a completely different mentality, different people and all that kind of thing, and people are a lot more open, for good or bad, and people will just sort of stop you in the street and be like, you're really pretty, and you'd be like, oh, thanks. I'll compliment people, like say, oh, I like your scarf or blah blah blah, but very rarely will I say to somebody that, because I think they'll think I'm weird, but it's something that's kind of really like, I'm used to it almost. But that's not to say that I don't still get jealous of other things. But it's more kind of like, I don't know, life things, like if somebody's got a really, really amazing job, and they're super happy in it, I get a bit jealous. That kind of relationship jealous comparing jealous I'm terrible for, where, you know, you'll look on Facebook and someone's like really in love and happy, and I'm like, my boyfriend doesn't write me love songs, he doesn't love me. Like, I get like that a lot. But I don't really tend to get like jealous looks wise of other people, and that's not because I think, you know, I'm so attractive I've got nothing to be jealous of, because obviously that's not true at all. But I don't know, it's really, really odd, because it's not that like I'm really confident now and I'm really happy with how I look. I mean, obviously I'm not, I'm like really, really overweight and I look horrible, but I need to, oh, sorry, needed to like change how I was sat because I wasn't comfy. I just don't tend to kind of, I don't look at people and compare it to myself. I do look at other people's lives and compare it, and I know that that's still wrong because you don't know what goes on behind closed doors and all of that kind of thing. And I haven't got any advice on like how to not be jealous of a person anymore, because I think it is something that just kind of goes away, and you have to realise that however perfect you think they may look, it isn't kind of how you think. And like with that friend, for example, it's not in a way of, oh, you tear that person down at all, but like I said, she had really, really big boobs, and then one day I saw her without her bra off, and obviously, like, you know, without having your bra on, your boobs do sag a little bit more, and she had stretch marks on her boobs because they were so big and everything like that, and I was kind of like, oh, it's not like, you know, what I thought was like, you know, she was just like, you know, beautiful Pamela Anderson kind of thing, was how I saw it in my head. And when I actually saw underneath, it just wasn't like that. We weren't like, you know, being topless together or something. I think maybe we were on the beach, or maybe we were like bra shopping or something, I don't know. Like, you know, girlfriends, not shy of nakedness, whatever. But it is completely normal to be jealous of other people. It's just something that, like I said, looks wise, not something I tend to kind of struggle with anymore. I think probably something that I will struggle with, and I can see myself having a problem with, is, for example, if I have children and I don't spring back into shape and look really amazing and somebody else does, I'll be like, how are they doing it and I'm not? Like, that's not fair. Why are they managing it and I'm not? But I do get jealous more of people's like success now and all of that kind of thing. And, you know, another thing that like I do always get really jealous about, I don't think I've mentioned this in a video before, but like I'm not desperate to get married at all. Like, you know, I've got ages and I'm young, and I'm not desperate to get married at all. But we've been together for a long time. We've been together for 6 years soon, and then when people who have been together for, like, you know, 6 months get married, I am a bit like, what? That annoys me. And it's so stupid, because like their sorry, their happiness and whatever's got nothing to do with my happiness. Like, it is completely irrelevant. But it is just a very weird emotion, jealousy, isn't it? And something that I think we've all struggled with. But I am going to end this video here because I kind of don't have anything more insightful to say. Not that what I have said up till this point has been particularly insightful anyhow. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts down below. I always love reading your comments on these types of videos. And I'm not saying, you know, oh, women are horrible and jealous. That's not it at all. But I'd love to know kind of any experiences you've had, if you still feel like you get really, really jealous of somebody, or if somebody you find more attractive than you, how that affects you and all that kind of thing. I'd love to know your thoughts. And I think sometimes the kind of like, you know, being dolled up and wearing makeup and that kind of thing annoys women when they don't have the time anymore that maybe they would like to have, and it kind of reminds them of how their lives have changed. And I can completely understand how that's probably really frustrating. So that's kind of the only reason I can see behind that kind of jealousy sometimes. But like, I've got a friend who told me once, she was like, every time we go out you always make me feel so scruffy, and you're kind of, again, like, I'm not doing this for you. It's got nothing to do with you. I'm doing it because I want to do it. It's really, really difficult. Kind of, we have to all be responsible for our own feelings and take responsibility for someone's not making us feel that way. We're choosing to feel that way. And I know that, like when I said when I get jealous about other people's, like, you know, getting married or buying houses or whatever, it's got nothing to do with me. And I need to get over that it's like, you know, they're not doing it to spite me. It's just my emotions playing tricks on me. But yeah, I will love you and leave you now. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in my next video. I was going to be like, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you in my next video.